Welcome to StoryVedix, a home for divine stories, inspirational journeys, and timeless wisdom from every tradition. What if I told you that the greatest villain in Hindu mythology wasn't actually evil, but was a genius so brilliant that he literally had multiple personalities? Ravan's 10 heads weren't just a symbol of power, they were 10 distinct aspects of human consciousness, each representing different emotions, desires, and capabilities. Today, we are going to decode the psychological masterpiece hidden in plain sight. Get ready to meet the 10 faces of Ravan, and discover which one lives inside you. Before we meet each head, let's understand why 10. In ancient Indian psychology, consciousness has multiple layers. Ravan wasn't born with 10 heads, he developed them through intense learning and mastery. Each head represented a different field of knowledge he mastered. The Vedas, warfare, music, astronomy, medicine, politics, magic, architecture, poetry, and diplomacy. He literally became a walking university. But this blessing became his curse. Meet the first head, Vidya, the scholar. This head mastered all 4 Vedas and could recite scriptures flawlessly. But here's the twist, this head also developed intellectual arrogance. It's the part of Ravan that believed knowledge made him superior to others, even to the gods. In modern terms, this is the know-it-all personality, brilliant but condescending. We all have this head when we use our intelligence to put others down instead of lifting them up. The second head is Yuddha, the warrior. This personality made Ravan undefeatable in battle. A master strategist who conquered the 3 worlds. But the warrior head also carried the seed of aggression and the need to prove dominance. It's the head that couldn't accept no for an answer. That saw every situation as a battle to be won. This is our competitive ego, powerful when channeled right, destructive when unchecked. The third head is Kala, the artist. This head created the most beautiful music, composed soul-stirring poetry, and designed magnificent architecture. Lanka's golden palaces were his masterpieces. But the artist head also craved recognition and became obsessed with perfection. It's the creative ego that needs constant validation, that can't bear criticism. Every artist knows this head, the part that creates beauty but suffers when that beauty isn't appreciated. The fourth head is Chikitsa, the healer. This head mastered Ayurveda and could cure any disease. Ironically, this same head also knew how to create the deadliest poisons. The healer head represents our capacity for both creation and destruction, healing and harming. It's the head that understands life so deeply that it can both save and destroy it. In modern terms, this is power without moral restraint, knowledge that can heal or harm depending on intention. The fifth head is Rajniti, the politician. Master of statecraft, diplomacy, and governance. This head built the greatest empire of its time and ruled with administrative brilliance. But the political head also became manipulative, believing that the ends justify any means. It's the head that can charm anyone into anything, that sees people as tools for power. We all have this head when we manipulate situations to get what we want. The sixth head is Maya, the magician. Master of illusions, supernatural powers, and reality manipulation. This head could create any illusion, travel between dimensions, and bend the laws of physics. But the magician head also lost touch with reality, believing its own illusions. It's the head that lives in fantasy, that prefers the world it creates to the world that is. In modern times, this is our escapist tendency, our addiction to virtual realities. The seventh head is Kama, the lover. This head experienced the depths of passion, romance, and desire. It could write the most beautiful love poetry and feel emotions with incredible intensity. But the lover head also became possessive and obsessive, unable to accept rejection. It's the head that turned love into ownership, that couldn't distinguish between love and desire. This head ultimately led to Ravan's downfall with Sita. The eighth head is Darshan, the philosopher. This head contemplated the deepest questions of existence, understood cosmic principles, and achieved profound spiritual insights. Ironically, this philosophical head also rationalized every wrong action. It became so clever at justifying behavior that it lost touch with simple right and wrong. It's the head that can argue any position brilliantly, even when it's morally wrong. The ninth head is Artha, the businessman. This head understood wealth creation, trade, economics, and material prosperity like no other. Lanka became the richest kingdom under its guidance. But the business head also became greedy and materialistic, measuring everything by profit and loss. It's the head that reduces relationships to transactions, that believes everything has a price. We see this head in modern corporate cultures, profit above all, mentality. The 10th and final head is Ahamkara, the ego. This wasn't just self-confidence. This was the master head that coordinated all others and believed itself to be God. The ego head convinced Ravan that he was invincible, that rules didn't apply to him, that he was beyond consequences. It's the head that whispers, "You're special. You're above others. You deserve everything." This head turned a great soul into a fallen demon. Here's the fascinating part. Ravan's 10 heads weren't always in agreement. The scholar head knew kidnapping Sita was wrong. The healer head felt compassion. The philosopher head understood karma's laws. But the ego head overruled them all. This wasn't a story about an evil demon. This was a story about internal conflict. About what happens when our worst impulses defeat our better angels. Ravan's tragedy was having all human potentials but choosing the destructive ones. The genius of this story is that we all have these 10 heads. The scholar who becomes arrogant. The artist who needs validation. The lover who becomes possessive. The businessman who becomes greedy. The difference is integration versus domination. Ravan let his destructive heads dominate his noble ones. True wisdom is acknowledging all our aspects but choosing which ones to feed. You can't kill your inner Ravan, but you can choose which head leads. Even in his final moments, facing Rama's arrow, some texts say Ravan's scholar head finally took control. He praised Rama's righteousness and asked for forgiveness. This suggests that no matter how far we fall, our noble heads are always there, waiting for us to listen. Ravan's story isn't just a cautionary tale, it's a map of human consciousness. The question isn't whether you have a Ravan inside you. The question is, which of his heads are you feeding today? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories from all traditions. See you in the next video.